All right, welcome into Bettor's Last Stand. This is show number 20. Hard to believe it. After the Thanksgiving break, we're back here, and those of you who are watching this are probably stunned to see these two studs with me right now as Jubb and Cools join the team here today on Bettor's Last Stand. Jubb, you know his voice from behind the glass, was our producer when we were outside in the studio. He's our regular host of the podcast. And then Cooley, in a pinch hit effort, coming in for Chris today, as Chris is on the shelf with some sort of, I don't know, some kind of dysentery or virus. So hopefully none of you guys got sick with him from the show last night. No. Boys, welcome. Thanks for coming and filling in as we're going to talk some sports. How are we doing today?
Yeah, hi, everybody.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know I'm not the most sports-oriented as many people on the podcast. If you follow the podcast, no. But I'm going to give a couple opinions and maybe some factoids and questions. Cools, you probably know more than I do, but
well, your brain's always working, Jubb. So I'm anxious to see your takes and some of the, like you say, some of the questions that we are going to get into here. So, Cooley, welcome. How was school today?
Oh, just another day in the office, Matt. You know how it goes.
I know. I'm probably preparing your show notes for this show instead of doing school teaching, which I don't blame you. So, well, again, thanks for joining us. This is Bettor's Last Stand. You guys know us. We're the Pine Room Studios. Jubb does amazing work. Guys, how was Thanksgiving? Everybody have a good time?
Good. We talked about it a little bit on the podcast yesterday. Kind of low-key.
Low-key. Weird. Different.
Yeah, definitely
for
weird.
Me.
Went to my aunt's. She made some good food. I'm not a big Thanksgiving food fan.
Right,
but
I remember that.
I ate. She made great food.
Good.
I kept saying, no knock on my Aunt Mary. I'm just not a Thanksgiving food guy. But no, we had a good time. It was weird because we're used to going to your house afterwards. And afterwards, we just went home, and it was just kind of weird. What'd you do?
Yeah, you know, my holidays are always laid back. We don't really do a whole lot for the holidays, but it was nice to see old friends, family, stuff like that. Very laid back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep, I was in Ocean City. It was fun.
Yeah, how was that?
It was good. Now, sadly, I'm home, but this gets me back in the swing of things a little bit. It's kind of depressing when you first get back from that, but it was good. Quiet 5 days. Relaxing.
You have a few drinks over
that way? Yeah, I had some drinks. I had some fun. Me and my brother went out and watched some soccer and some NFL, and we had a good time. It was good. City's kind of calm this time of year, so it's nice. Get around pretty easily. But,
I was going to ask that. During this time of year, obviously, I mean, it's cold, anywhere up north, but what's the travel like up there? Is it slow?
No, I mean, it's nice because you can get up and down the strip quickly. Yeah. So if you in the good hot spots, they stay open pretty much year round, even if they have abbreviated schedules or whatever. So we were able to go and, get to our spots and watch. We watched USA play England on Friday at Bull on the Beach, and that was fun.
Big
so it was
draw
packed.
there,
Oh, yeah. People, USA, flags everywhere, chanting going on. So it was good. It was fun. The weather was decent. It's similar to here. A little warmer maybe. But, it was nice to get away. Back at it now, though. Back to the grind.
Back in the office.
As we get ready to attack the college football bowl season. And then we got college football championship week. We're going to talk a little bit about World Cup first and foremost. And then we're going to get Cooley, the NBA expert here. We don't talk a ton of NBA on this show. So I'm sure some of our NBA listeners, like Brad McLaughlin, I'm sure he'll be pumped up to hear what you have to say about that, Tyler. But World Cup, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, talked about it a little bit last week with Jubb's dad and Chris. But I'm off to a pretty good start. Argentina was off to a rough start for me, but they've won 2 in a row, and they won their group here just a few minutes ago. Mexico came through. So right now, if you were following some of my picks, we had the Netherlands and the USA through, we had England and Senegal through, and we also had Argentina and Mexico. So we're doing very well. The only team that I missed on so far, I have France as well. In the bracket that I kind of gave out on the air was I had Denmark instead of Australia, but 7 out of 8 is not bad to start things off. We can already cash one of the tickets that I put on the best bets, Senegal to advance. So we have that one in. Things have been pretty good so far. I think things are really starting to heat up. Good teams are starting to advance here. Have you guys watched any of this?
I've watched a few highlights. I haven't. It's something that I talked about on the podcast is that I wish I was more into it than what I am now. I think that this is specifically cool just because it's countries. I think I don't know that I could watch it throughout the season, but I think the whole national thing is pretty neat.
Yeah, cool. It's definitely cool to watch. Is USA known for being defense?
No, their team's kind of grown over the years. They had a golden generation, which now this is probably the golden generation, probably about 10 or 12 years ago, of some players like Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey and these guys, Tim Howard. Pretty good ambassadors for the game, could score. And they weren't known as a great defensive team, but the athleticism and the kind of kids that we've got in soccer programs in the United States now has really grown the operation. So they're really actually a pretty good two-way team right now. They do lack a little bit of goal scoring, which is a lot of teams' problem.
It's been noticeable these last couple games.
Yeah. They struggle to put the ball in the net, but yesterday they were able to get it done with Pulisic getting it done there, hurting himself in the process.
Yeah, that was nuts.
I felt bad for him. I thought his entire internal organs exploded when he smashed into that guy. But, nonetheless, it was fun. They got through barely, but just not having a goal scorer up front hurts them. I think they have a chance, though, against the Netherlands. I think it'll be a good game. I'd probably say a really good under bet if those of you who are interested in that on Saturday morning. I think that'll be a really, really nip and tuck game. Both teams kind of built similarly. Netherlands has very good athletes. They've never really gotten over the hump to win one of these tournaments before, but they're always knocking on the door. USA has a good chance to beat them. I think it'll be a 1-0 game, maybe 2-1, maybe even 1-1. And remember, if you're betting the draw, it's 90 minutes, or you're betting the team to win. Because these games now are coming into elimination, where you will have you'll go to penalty kicks if they don't win in extra time. So keep a lookout for that. It should be a good first match for the United States. I think they're there right now. They're plus 350. Netherlands minus 110. So Netherlands a small favorite there. England and Senegal match up in the other round of 16 across the bracket. England minus 185. Senegal plus 650. I think Senegal will give England a little bit of trouble with their athletes that they have. Senegal has very, very, very good athletic guys who can battle and run, and they'll give England some trouble. I think England probably gets the best of them. But I like both games under in that section. I think those are both Saturday games, and then we jump down to Argentina, I believe, is going to play Australia. These are all finishing up as we come on the air right here, so I'm not certain on these matchups. I think they're correct. Argentina and Australia, and then France versus Mexico. Yeah. I would imagine Argentina takes care of Australia pretty easily. And then France-Mexico will be a better game than people think. France sat all their players out today. Mexico's dangerous. They defend well. Struggle to score. They did score twice today to advance, so that helps them. But I think France probably gets the job done there.
Do you think that the World Cup, now it might just because I'm getting older, but I feel like the World Cup this year has had a little more attention than it has in the past, at least last year. I don't remember even any news about it.
The weird thing is it gets lost in the summertime a lot of the time. Yeah. So you're burying it in the summer. People are on vacation. They're just not paying attention to sports. All you really have going on is baseball. Now people have their faces in the TVs all the time. You got these soccer matches coming on before college football now on Saturdays and stuff. So people are noticing the holidays as well. People getting days off work. Like I said, I was there watching the USA game on Friday. There's people off work. There's something to do, something to get behind your country. So I think it actually maybe is good for them to have it in the wintertime.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely like as far as like social media wise, I've seen so much stuff about the World Cup this year. Like I've seen highlights, and especially with like the U.S. in the UK.
Yep.
I've seen a ton of
especially Twitter. Twitter has been going nuts with the memes over.
It's pretty nuts. Another question here is this. You have your bracket here with all the teams on it. Does anybody treat this, or do people kind of treat it like a March of Madness type of bracket?
This is like, I know it's hard for people to understand. This is like bigger than March Madness, bigger than the Super Bowl worldwide. I mean, this is March Madness in these countries.
And I brought that up on that. Was I bringing that up on the podcast, or were we at the dinner where I said that this, as far as like worldwide, is one of the most important, if not the most important.
It's not. It makes our Super Bowl look small. Like it dwarfs.
That's insane.
And he said, we had this conversation. He said he it's not on his bucket list, but would it be on your bucket list to go to a World Cup?
Yeah, absolutely. In the next 2026, I think, is the United States is co-hosting with Canada, I believe, in Mexico.
Awesome.
So I'm planning on going to some of those. Definitely, there's going to be sites in the middle of the country, out west, and then some of the East Coast sites. So I think even as close as Philadelphia. So
maybe
definitely maybe a Pine Room pilgrimage to one of these. I think it would definitely be an event that people would never forget.
If we build our bankroll up enough, take a trip.
We're taking fundraisers now. Hey, one quick correction. I am wrong. I don't know if this came down because when I was coming in, it was Poland and Mexico were tied, and I think that late goal by Saudi Arabia against Mexico actually takes the Mexicans out, so it will be Poland in instead of Mexico. So it will be France versus Poland. Poland didn't do anything to deserve to get in this game today, or in this match on Sunday. So the Poles, Chris's nation, they're in. The Poles will face off against France on Sunday. I really like France in that game. I thought Mexico maybe could give them a fight. And then you got England, Senegal on Sunday, Netherlands, USA on Saturday, and then Argentina, Australia, as I mentioned, on Saturday. Those are the Saturday matches. That's all it's set right now, so I can't really give any more picks, but I will give Jubbs some picks for the weekend. So be looking there. Check us out at the Pine Room Podcast on social. Be sure and take a look at those. We'll have our most updated stuff, the stuff that I like from the weekend's matches.
Yeah, real quick about that World Cup. I was just looking this up, that Brazil has the most World Cup championships in their history. Who's the front runner this year?
Right now, Brazil. Brazil still is. They're the team that people thought was the front runner to come into the tournament. They've done nothing to say otherwise. Neymar is a little bit banged up. He's their best player. He's out, but they have so much talent, so much depth. They'll be very tough to beat. I don't love them to win it, but I think they'll absolutely make it to the Final Four. It'll be hard for them not to. France is really good, a little bit injured, and like I mentioned way back 3 weeks ago or whatever, Argentina. It was a team that I think is getting momentum. They had a bad first game against Saudi Arabia. No one saw that coming, but they have played really well since then, and I think they're on a mission to win it for Messi. I think Spain will be dangerous as well. There's some other teams. Germany has not played as well as I had hoped for. And then whoever wins that Netherlands-USA match will probably match with Argentina, so that could be a heck of an interesting game.
What would you put the line on our Yankees to win the
Oh boy! Right now, good Lord, it'd be. I mean, it's. I mean, you gotta think at least 25 or 50 to 1. I don't know what they actually are right now.
Has the USA ever won the World Cup?
No,
I don't think.
No, they've never even made it. The furthest they made it, I believe, was to the final 8. Which
what was Landon Donovan? What was
that was either the year before, the time before that, or that time when he scored that goal against Algeria to put them through. Was the furthest they'd ever got, but it was really fun. When they did have that run, I believe they lost to Belgium, who's another team that's pretty dangerous in here. Belgium and the United States played a really, really close match, and the USA just couldn't quite pull it out. But, you never know. I think that the U.S. program is getting so much better that they actually – I can't say they don't have a chance. 90 to 1 right now, Joe. So you get which I think is probably realistic. That's about a fair price.
Would you throw a couple bones on that?
Probably not. But I will say Belgium at 80 or Uruguay at 80 is not a bad bet. But again, these teams are up against it right now. Right now, Portugal, England, France, Spain, Argentina, and Brazil seem to be one of those 6 will probably end up winning it. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to watching for the next few weeks as they start whittling it down. And
it's ironic that I'm here because I don't like sports. But what I do enjoy about football, talk about like the Super Bowl. You're getting certain groups of people together, whereas the World Cup, you're getting a nation together, which I think is really cool.
Have you guys seen some of the footage of like the cameras of these other countries when their teams win or score?
It's
pretty
insane.
neat.
It's insane.
I do actually think that would be really fun too if you happen to be on vacation in one of those countries when their team is playing.
Just cheer for that roof.
My God, it'd be so fun. It'd just be in one of those beer gardens downtown. Yeah, just screaming and yelling and carrying on, but watching good stuff. So, again, if you have any thoughts or questions about it, contact at thepinerootpodcast.com. Anything you want to see us talk more about, I'm not going to bore people with too much more soccer talk. Let's shift gears just a little bit here. We're not even going to take a break. We're just going to fly on transition. Cooley, I want to get your thoughts here. NBA, as things start to
my favorite.
Go into the Christmas season. I always think NBA at Christmas Day. It's always like, something that kind of goes with your day. Although this year it's kind of invaded with the NFL since it's fallen on a Sunday this year, with Christmas falling on a Sunday. Just want to get your overall observations. Your Heat have struggled a little bit.
Oh man, too many injuries so far.
Do you see a way out of this for them? Do they? I mean, right now they're 10 and 11.
They're not too bad in terms of the standing. There's a lot of like 11 and 10 teams, 10 and 11. So I mean, if we could go on a little
tough.
streak,
It's kind of a log jam. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
The Eastern Conference.
So we just need to go on a little win streak.
Yeah.
Get healthy.
Yeah. So are you pretty happy with the roster, or do you think it's something that they're going to make some moves eventually?
I'm definitely not happy because we lost PJ Tucker. He went to the Sixers.
He's a valuable guy. Yep.
Yeah, and you need those kind of role players on your team.
Sure.
We need a power forward. We need a big man next to Bam, and we don't have that guy. If you watch them, I don't know because you don't really watch the NBA, but they're small.
Yeah, no, I have. I watched the Heat a little bit because of our ties with Coach Crutchfield. And he's buddies with your boys Spoelstra and Nia, so I always keep an eye on them and always kind of cheer for them.
Do you think that do you think that plays like a massive role as far as in the NBA? Like no matter how good a guy, how tall is Curry? How tall is Curry? He's short,
about 6'3".
Yeah, he's considered
like
small.
Comparative to, but he's a great shooter, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so like now, say you have a team full of 6'3" guys that are incredible shooters, that are incredible athletes, but then you have a team that are 6'8", 6'9", and they're not as talented. But does that height differential play that big of a difference into the game?
So you're saying 5'6" versus 5'6"?
Yeah.
I mean, my money would be on the 6'8", just because the 6'3s aren't going to be able to rebound, defend, or guard those guys.
So when you say they're small, do you say that?
Yeah. So like normally, your power forward's about at least 6'8" or taller.
Right.
Right now, we're running Caleb Martin at the power forward, who's about 6'5", and he's a good player.
He is. I loved him and his brother in Nevada. They're really good players. But, a little undersized for that spot.
And he's guarding up, he's guarding power forwards, and he's getting switched on to centers, and it's tough for him, and he can't rebound with them, so we got to get size.
It's a really good question that you asked because that's what coaches' styles, you're finding coaches out there that are trying that. Smaller guys that can all handle the ball a little bit versus guys who are maybe bigger that don't handle it as well, don't shoot it as well. And it is kind of a balancing act, but cool, in a series or when you're getting down to the end, it's just so tough to be able to find guys that can guard a guy when he need a basket, 6'3" versus 6'8" guy. But I give these guys credit for trying things like that and just trying to make things work like that. Coach Crutchfield did it in the college ranks. The West Liberty center's never taller than like 6'5", so that's kind of how that goes along.
That new space.
Oh, look, Coach stopping in on his way to Wheeling College.
You guys rolling?
We're rolling, yeah.
Okay. Job, you sitting in?
Yeah, we got all the experts here today. This is huge.
You guys lunch.
Oh, jeez.
Thanks, Coach.
Look at this.
The Greek's hot sausage.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow,
Thank
look
you.
At this.
Perfect.
Wow.
Lunch delivery.
Thank you.
On Bettor's Last Stand. All right.
There's one for Chris. What are you guys talking about?
We're talking NBA right now.
I gotta go. I gotta keep the official booking
Oh, yeah.
at Wheeling. So talking NBA, huh?
Yes, we
sir.
are. We are. Well, real quick, before we switch, we'll go back to NBA, but you got any winners for us in college this week while you're here? Anything
in college?
in college football?
Football?
Anything?
Yeah.
Anybody you like?
Yeah. Let me see the line. There's a couple that jump out at me, and I like. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you right now. I like North Texas.
Okay.
Catching the
Mean
8.5.
Green. Okay.
Well, that might be a little biased. And I like. I think Michigan will murder Purdue, and then the other one is. I think LSU hangs around with Georgia.
Okay.
What about you guys?
Well,
I don't like the LSU to pick their coach. I can't lie.
Well, getting 16.5 though.
Oh, okay.
yeah. I like that game over. I like that
like it
LSU
over?
Georgia game over. Yeah, and I like the Michigan game under. I think those are two.
Now here's
that
a
I like.
question.
Yes,
Why
Chuck.
now? Right there, just in that scenario, Cooley was just off board on that bet,
Right.
and then he just said, Coach just said they're getting 16.5.
Right.
Why did that change your opinion so much?
You were just thinking. You were just thinking in terms of winning.
I thought he might be thinking like it would be like a 6-point game, 3-point game. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a blowout.
Right.
Maybe a backdoor. You never know, right?
Hey, have we located Lauren the Bettor yet?
Oh, actually, she did get back on social media the other day.
Is she a Michigan graduate?
No, Fresno.
Fresno.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we'll get Soup to reach out to her and see if we can get her back so she can send you your shirt.
Yeah, I need my Fresno
cashed.
shirt.
You won, so you got your UCLA over.
Yeah.
So
All right,
done.
well, carry on, guys. Have a good one.
Yep. All right. Good luck out at Wheeling College tonight.
Wheeling University. Congratulations on United States going to the knockout round.
Yes, we were just talking
a couple
soccer.
of your picks got beat. Canada.
Yeah, I know that. Boy, they played their ass off too, man. That as if there was ever a time where a team couldn't have played any better and lost the match. But that's the way that stuff goes.
And,
they played really, really good. But I was telling these guys, I thought I had 7 of 8 of the teams advance. I would end up being 6 because Poland ended up knocking out Mexico on goal differential, which just happened before we came in. So Yeah, but not a bad start though. We got Senegal was one of our best bets through. Argentina's clicking now, so we're feeling good. Coach, who you like tonight? D&E minus 2.5 over there at Wheeling College. 156.5 is
I'd take Wheeling at home.
Okay, I like it.
What
too.
do you got? You didn't make a women's line, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I probably could have made you one, but I did
That
not.
might be a decent game though. I'm looking forward to it.
D&E seems a little better in men this year, but I think that'll be a really good game, the men's game.
Yes.
So, yep.
Cools, I like your jersey.
Thank
your
you.
Jacket.
Yeah, shout out
Good stuff.
That's nice.
Watchdog.
All
I
right.
love it.
Yeah, our watchdog friends suiting us up. It's some nice stuff here. So
You ready to take some swings tomorrow, Cools?
Oh, I can't wait. They're going to have their hands full.
The girls are?
Yeah.
They're going to.
in one way or another,
I
they
just
will.
hope they don't embarrass you guys.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Good luck. We'll see you. All right, back to the round ball. Boy, yeah, random visitors. We got sausages on the desk. We got all kind of stuff going on.
That's what happens when we have a studio and we have an office now. But I just walk in.
And thanks to our watchdog friends, it's cool. He's got the cool watchdog jacket on.
Yeah.
They outfit. I got mine hanging on the chair here. But thanks to everybody down there, Rocky, Kayleen, Howard, all the group who's done a lot for us.
Yeah.
Lola, they've been really, really hospitable. We got a nice setup here. Jub's working down the hall to get our office studio in order. How's that coming along?
Good. Yeah, I mean, the only roadblock right now is picking out couches, and I've been looking.
You should see this guy. He has been a mess.
Listen, if I have to look at another couch, I'm gonna just end up burning the one whatever we get. I mean, I close my eyes and I see futons.
Yeah, right in a WVU.
Well, I'm sure something will come about.
Yeah.
We hope. But Cools, let's go back to NBA. So we were talking Heat. Heat, where are they going to go from here? Obviously, you say you still think they got a chance of making some noise here.
I think they at the trade deadline they're going to make some moves.
Okay.
We got too many guards, like, for example, Duncan Robinson, who's just wasting away on the bench. I mean, he comes in and he comes off the bench, but doesn't play a whole lot. And I definitely think we should be moving him or somebody else to get a bigger type of player on the roster.
Understood. You gotta have matchups, guys that can match up in the playoffs. So as far as the Eastern Conference goes, very top heavy as far as the big dogs go right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Jub needed a pen. Jub needed ink. All right. The Celtics, really good. Joe Mazzulla, who actually I got to meet him a couple times when he coached at Fairmont. He obviously played for the Mountaineers. He's done a great job, 17-4 to start the season.
Yeah, they've been incredible this year. The
Very
defense
impressive.
is great. They got some ISO scorers. I mean, they've been unbelievable.
They seem like their roster's really set to make a deep run. I would expect them to probably be in the Eastern Conference Finals if I was going to have to bet on that. Does that sound like something that you would be interested in?
Absolutely. Because they're going to be tough to beat, man. They're so deep. I mean, they went to the finals, and then they improved the roster.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I love the moves they've made so far.
How about Chris's Cavs? Where do you see them going?
They're good, man. If they can stay healthy, that's their biggest thing. Donovan Mitchell and Garland together in that backcourt. And, I mean, they're a lethal duo.
And
then you got Jared Allen, who's a big man.
No, I think Cleveland's pretty good too. I flipped them on a couple of times just to see. I think they're a pretty solid team. They got some as they continue to get their younger guys experience. I think they'll continue to get better. And then Milwaukee will be there. They obviously when you got Giannis, I mean,
think LeBron will end up there.
He probably wants to.
Yeah.
God, he's just LeBron. Oh no, he made wherever Bronny wants to go is where he's going to go next, probably. And then as far as some teams who have been a kind of a surprise, the Pacers. What do you make of them?
Yeah, so I thought for sure they'd be a kind of a team that would get to the trade deadline and be sellers.
Right.
But the way they've been playing, I mean, I don't know if they will be. They're playing well. I forget his name, the rookie they have on it, like Merrick or something. I forget his name. He just played Braun the other night, and he's the one that said
they came back and beat him.
Yeah, he was like, I don't believe anybody's better than me and LeBron. You're gonna have to show me. And he actually outplayed LeBron. The Pacers have been good this year, man. They're definitely a surprise team.
And then,
so far.
What do you make of the Sixers? This team, I just can't get behind this team. I think they're a bunch of losers.
You're talking to the world's biggest Sixer hater.
Yeah.
I can't stand the Sixers. Their play style, the players. I hate them so much.
No, I agree with you. I think they're kind of a joke. And then you get to another joke, and you got the Nets.
Yeah.
And Kevin Durant's obviously a generational scorer. But again, these teams, the Nets, the Sixers, I just don't ever have confidence that they'll ever turn the corner.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Simmons is, playing better as of late. He's starting to, I think, get healthier and get used to it. But I don't know. That's a weird team. Who knows what Kyrie Irving's going to do next?
Right. How about any dark horses in the East? The Raptors, Wizards, Hawks, anybody there you like to maybe make a playoff run? Anybody that somebody could throw a little bit down on to try to make the playoffs in the East? I mean, it's really tough. That's going to be really tough to get 8 spots. And you got the Knicks in there.
It's a crowded conference this year. Let me look at the conference.
Yeah. Because right now you got the Celtics, Bucks, Cavs, Pacers, Sixers, Raptors in the top 6 right there. And then you got the Wiz, the Hawks. I don't know if they can keep it going. I don't. They were good last year, and then you kind of drop off after your Heat. The Bulls are not going to sustain.
Yeah, after the Heat, I mean, the Hornets, Orlando.
Boy, Detroit. I actually like the Pistons this year. I thought they had some good young players. They are just not ready to play together yet. They are really, really bad as a team.
Cade Cunningham's good. I like him, but
and then the kid from Purdue, I think Ivy's going to be really good too. They look so out of sorts when they're playing against these more experienced teams, but. Anybody in the East stick out to you?
I like the Raptors. I think they're a sneaky team.
Yep.
Scotty Barnes, he's been struggling.
Player.
He got put on the bench, but I think it's just like a sophomore slump kind of thing. I think he'll figure it out. They're good, man.
Raptors always seem like a team that I would not want to play in the playoffs. They seem tough. They got a pretty good home court advantage, and they just seem like they dig in really hard and they make things really hard on the
so
opponents.
when Jubb asked about the 6'8" guys versus 6'3" guys, that's the team that popped up in my mind. Is they got these tall, rangy, lanky kind of guys.
Long, lanky. All right, Jubb, what's your picks in the East? Anybody?
I'm really as far as the NBA goes, I'm really versed in what is going on.
East Coast, Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
genius.
I'm gonna hold my picks. Okay. I think we'll wait till Friday. I might put a few good picks out there. I don't want to muck up. No,
that's okay. I was just putting you on the spot. Cooley, let's shift to the Western Conference. I don't know if it's quite as deep as the East. Suns seem to me maybe the best team, but I don't know. I kind of think the Grizzlies are dangerous. The Pelicans are dangerous. What do you think?
Yeah, I really like the Pelicans. I think they're a deep team. Zion's finally healthy. He's playing well.
Wood, right?
Yeah, knock on wood. I really enjoy watching Zion because he plays hard.
Yep, he does.
And you know who's been surprising to me this year is actually Minnesota.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how bad they are.
Me neither.
But I'm not surprised because Rudy Gobert is a hard player to play around. Yeah. He can't shoot. He just stands in the paint, clogs it up. So
they thought him and Karl Anthony Towns were going to be like twin towers.
Yeah, and it's just that's not the NBA anymore. You got to be able to shoot. You got to be able to space the floor.
Yeah,
and it's not working for him.
Who would have thought? You got the T-Wolves down in 11th. You got the Lakers in 13th. Warriors, I imagine, will get it on track at some point. They're good enough. They'll figure it out.
They're starting to figure it out
at the 10th spot, and then even Dallas has been a little down. Utah, everybody thought would suck. They've been better than expected, actually.
They started out. They were like top 3
really
seed.
good, yeah.
They're on like a 6-game losing streak.
Thoughts on the Blazers or the Kings? Either one of these teams any good? I don't think the Blazers are very good.
I think they're frauds. The Kings,
Kings are getting better, though, aren't they?
They can score with anybody, but they can't defend. Yeah. So it's,
And then I'll tell you, the Clippers are a dangerous team. I don't know what kind of odds that you can get on them at most of your spots, but right now they 475 to win the conference, 950 to win it all. They seem like a team that I don't love their roster, but I think if they got a piece or two, maybe
I
they
think
could be
that's
good.
a good pick.
Yeah,
because if Kawhi gets healthy,
right.
I mean they keep resting them. They're trying to.
It's almost like they know that they'll be good in the playoffs, and then they'll put it together in the playoffs. Yeah,
and they got John Wall coming off the bench. Yeah, Reggie Jackson.
I think if they could add like one piece to get a little bit more depth, I think they play defense, so that could be interesting. Now the Nuggets are a team. Obviously, Joker's awesome. He's really good. I don't love their roster, but people have. They've been talked up a lot. They're second in the conference. Where do you sit on the Nuggets?
They're a deep team. I like their roster. I can't lie to you. What's his name? Starting to get better. Jamal Murray.
Yeah, he's good.
Coming back is big, but they don't have the younger guy who held his back. Michael Porter. Yeah. So I really like his game, but he keeps getting hurt. So if they can get him back, I think they'll be ready to roll. But
yeah, and then we were talking before we started the show. Your thoughts about the league maybe not being quite as good. Do you think that's a lot with these guys getting rested all the time?
Yeah.
And just it's hard to develop any type of chemistry or unity?
It's got to be, right?
I mean, you playing with a different guy every single night?
Because you got to build that chemistry up and just resting guys every night.
Especially when you're bringing new guys in.
How do you work on that?
I agree.
It gets old after a while because I used to be, me, I'm always for the players, but when it comes to resting guys every night, I mean, that's what they're paid to do is play.
It's sad that
they're
they
just
do
not
it so
playing.
much. I get guys who have lingering long-term injuries and stuff, but just because you play a back-to-back, you shouldn't just sit out just because. Like, if something's bothering you, okay, but They just we're
How
not
about we
even
just
going to dress
reduce the
them.
minutes or
Yeah,
something? Just
right.
don't play
There you
them
go.
45 minutes.
Exactly.
But,
Play them a few minutes, a half, or whatever.
It's something they got to look into.
Yeah, I agree. I think that hurts the product, and I think it, it's a struggle for people that are trying to bet it too, because you always got to identify who's playing tonight, who's not. But they also can work the other way. The coaches basically tell you these guys aren't playing, so maybe you can get a good number on the team that they're playing against as soon as that gets announced. But closing thoughts on NBA, at least now for this time of the year. If you had to make a pick right now or two, let me just say this: the Eastern Conference Finals will be between who? Come June or whenever that's going to be.
And it's looking like I personally believe the Milwaukee Bucks are coming out of the Eastern Conference. I think against the Celtics.
All right, Bucks, Celtics. I like.
I know
that.
I'm picking the top two teams.
Yeah, but
there.
those are. I mean, hey, you're picking against your own team too, so you're going against your heart. What about in the West? If you had to line up two,
I don't see how Denver and Phoenix don't make it too. I know I'm picking the top two teams. I'll go this. I'm gonna go Phoenix versus Clippers, Western Conference Finals. That's what I like.
All right, well, that pretty much does the job. You got any closing thoughts on our NBA?
No, section? I don't have anything on NBA, but I was just sent a picture that our podcast, the Pine Room Podcast, has been the top podcast for 109 listeners. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's
on
awesome.
Spotify.
Whoa.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, check that out, folks. We got to get Bettor's Last Stand-Up into the mix now.
It's been the top 10 podcast for 207 people, which is pretty neat. That's pretty neat.
All right.
There you go.
I'll take it. That's our good news of the day, along with Argentina winning. But, hey, one thing, too, on the bad beats section of this sheet before we jump into college football, LeBron led teams 403-1 when leading by 17-plus points in the fourth quarter before the Pacers beat him on Monday. That's a pretty impressive stat.
Oh, my God.
For as much as I'm not a LeBron hater, 403-1 prior to that, Pacers were the second team to get him.
Yeah, that's something that I want to say. Well, I didn't want to say it, but I'll say it anyway. As much as we shit on LeBron and I shit on LeBron, he's got to be one of the best athletes probably ever graced the face.
I'll
of the
say
planet.
that he's probably the best athlete that ever played in the NBA. Yeah. But as far as the best player, I was still going to argue against that. He's amazing.
Real quick, amazing. What do you think, people, let's say we go back to 1508. What do you think a guy would do if LeBron walked into a room?
1508?
Yeah.
He would probably been fighting in some giant pit somewhere. They'd had him in exotic beasts. Well, that's further than later on than the Romans, but I'm sure in some Centurion games or something.
He would have definitely been a god somewhere.
Oh my God, yeah, literally a god. People would have not known what to do when a guy like that walked in.
There you go.
But they did go, and again, this probably isn't for this podcast, but they used to. The Romans would go into all these parts of ancient Africa and recruit these guys.
Yeah.
So to bring them to these pits, and those gladiators, when they would win battles, people think they fought to the death all the time. They really didn't. They actually lived good lives where they could provide for themselves. Yeah. They were. They may face beasts facing only lions and alligators and stuff. So pretty crazy.
Go watch Gladiator.
Yes, good film. Definitely worth a watch. But all right, let's shift gears here in this first opening segment here. Let's talk a little college football as we right into Jubb's wheelhouse here as we got Coach stop by for some quick picks. Just want to ask you guys really quickly, especially you Cools, because I know you're probably paying a little bit more attention. Playoff scenario as Georgia's now obviously the clear-cut favorite. Michigan took down Ohio State, and they're the second choice right now, plus 225. Then you got Ohio State at 10-1, TCU at 12-1, USC at 12-1. Alabama and LSU outsiders. Where do you see the playoff going? Do you think it's Georgia, Michigan, TCU, USC, or do you think Ohio State crashes the party somehow?
See, I was looking at that today. Is there any chance USC gets beat by Utah this week?
They already lost to them once.
So that's sort of the one thing.
It was a good game, but USC played great the last couple of weeks. They've been playing really well.
Caleb Williams.
Yes, he's been awesome. Really and I was going to ask you about your opinion. I think right now, he's the Heisman frontrunner, in my opinion,
I don't know how
after Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you.
We'll see what he does this Saturday. Then.
Yeah. Well, because him against last time they played Utah, he had a really good game.
He did.
So, it makes me think, man, can Utah hang with them again?
And it was a 2-point conversion they lost on, and there was some iffy calls. So I don't know. I'm anxious to see that game. I think Michigan's probably in even if they lose. I think TCU should be in if they lose.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I don't think Ohio State. I thought Ohio State was very unimpressive on Saturday. I don't think they deserve to be in.
I don't think they deserve to be in either.
Yep, Jubb, what do you think?
I don't think they need to be in it either.
Were you guys at the Pine Room? Obviously, were you there Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
I was not there. Jubb, how was the crowd? And do you guys cheer against? Were you? Ohio State was the damn Busch Light pick.
Yeah,
so we're working against ourselves.
Yeah, I think we bailed on the Busch Light pick and just wanted to.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, but no, it was a great atmosphere.
Good.
Lot of beverages.
Yeah,
probably the most
that.
I've consumed. But yeah, we had a lot of fun.
How was Say?
He
lot of
consumed
beverages.
a lot of beverages. Yeah, no, but I think we actually did pretty well as far betting wise. I didn't hear anybody really complaining.
Yeah,
like
I told
we
your dad I had the
normally do.
best college football Saturday I had the whole year. Too bad it wasn't around you guys to share any of the picks.
Yeah, I think what was the other one? Was that 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago we were sitting on the deck. There were like 10 guys on the deck. Oh, yeah, that was okay,
that was Max and Sam were there. And stuff, yeah,
but Red from Missouri, he got to come and hang out with us for a little while, so that was
the
fun.
Air Force Falcon himself,
which is cool. Great day in the Pine Room.
Good. All right, let's go to the card for this weekend. Conference championship games. Akron and Buffalo actually is a game that is not a conference championship game. That's a makeup game on Friday night. And then we got our North Texas Mean Green and the Johnson's UTSA Roadrunners. Yeah. This is the Conference USA Championship. This is actually played on the campus of UTSA. Actually, I don't know if that's on their campus, but it's in San Antonio. Coach on the Mean Green. I would lean Mean Green a little bit here. The two teams played a close 31-27 matchup the first time. UTSA getting the better of them. UTSA minus 8.5. The total 68.5. Guys, any thoughts on this game? I think it could be a high-scoring affair. It opened at 66 and it's now up to 68.5, so people seem to be liking it over. Any opinion on that game?
Yeah, I was going to say the over. I think I like the over in that game for sure. What was the over? 68.5?
Yeah, 68.5.
Coach likes North Texas,
yes,
right?
Yes, he does, and that's well, he said our
little
heart.
Biased.
Yeah,
we'll be biased.
We'll be a little biased. His cousin Jake is, a big part of their offense, so we're hopeful that they can pull out a championship victory there. I'll be sitting that out as far as the side goes, or I'm betting North Texas, but I agree with Cooley. Going to be over for me. Probably that's the most likely wager I'll make on that one.
Over and rooting for North Texas.
Yes, absolutely. Sounds good. I think everybody will be having a good day if that happens, so we'll take it. All right, and the night game on Friday, that again is a Friday night 7:30 game on CBS Sports Network. The 8 o'clock game on Fox is the Pac-12 Championship. Utah taking on USC. As Cooley mentioned, these teams rematch. It was a close game. Utah won on a 2-point conversion the last time. USC -3. The total 67.5. USC actually opened a 1-point favorite and getting bet up a little bit. Seems like the public's jumping on USC, which worries me a little bit. Any thoughts on the game, like as you mentioned about Caleb Williams, how good he's been? Any thoughts on the total? You think this game could be a shootout again?
I was going to say, I think I like the over in this game too.
Yeah. I don't think you go wrong with points. The way USC's offense has been clicking, I don't know how you could bet it under. Yeah, I don't know how you bet under in this game. Job, any thoughts?
Well, I was going to ask, what did you see in day-to-day? What is the percentage as far as people betting the under and the over? What do people lean towards?
So in my industry, we always like unders because everybody bets overs. Like your brother, for example, guys just won't bet unders. There's guys that will only bet overs. So that kind of negates any advantage they have if they're just strictly saying, I'm only going to bet overs. It comes into play. Public is usually on the favorites and over, i.e. champ, and then the dogs or the sharper players maybe play teams take the points. Find it under. There's nothing wrong with playing overs. There's going to be games that are going to go over. You just don't want to blindly play them all over. And there's going to be a game out there like of all these championship games, you got to find there's got to be at least like 2 that you really like that you can find a case to stay under. But to answer your question, players are always going to bet overs the majority.
It's tough to root for an under.
Yes.
I mean, it's hard to root for.
It can be. Unless it's just 2 teams like the next game we'll talk about, Toledo and Ohio. I'll have no problem rooting for the under in that game. I'll just be happy to grind it out. If I can get a winner, I can get a winner. Ohio, that is the MAC championship game at Ford Field in Detroit. Ohio actually catching 2 in that game. Toledo -2, total 55. It actually came down from the opener of 61, so people are betting that game under.
Oh, wow.
That's a big move. I would probably look at the under in that game a little bit, but it worries me a little bit because inside these teams tend to score some points and they play in the Lions Stadium. So any thoughts on this game, guys?
I'm going to lean over just because, it's moving down from 61, but there's probably a reason why it's moving down.
Right.
But
you get a better number if you really like the over.
Yeah, they had to be thinking it's 61 for a reason at some point. So
exactly.
I'm gonna lean over.
Yeah. Jubb, any thoughts on that one? The Rockets and the Bobcats.
I'm going to stay clear of that one.
All right,
Yeah.
that's not. Well, I know
Dangerous ground
the
for me.
Maction's not your wheelhouse.
No,
We'll wait to get to your conference.
Yeah.
All right, the next game, 12 o'clock ABC on Saturday. Kansas State and Texas Christian to battle in the Big 12 championship game in Arlington, Texas. This is at AT&T Stadium. TCU now 2.5-point favorites. The total 62. TCU's getting a lot of public love now. A lot of people were against them, disrespected them. I probably was guilty of it too. I like Kansas State a little bit in the game if I could get like 3 or 3.5, but if I'm only going to get 2.5, I might sit the game out. Any thoughts, fellas?
I like TCU 2.5, and I like the game under.
Okay, yeah. I heard a stat recently of the Big 12 championship games. I want to say, I might be wrong about this. I thought he said 7 of the last 10 have been unders. So and I remember last year was a pretty low-scoring game. So and a lot on the line for TCU here. You know, this is a play. Now, there's no guarantee they won't make it if they lose to the play, but they probably want to win just to be.
Yeah,
obviously
just to
they
be safe.
obviously they want to win, but like. You know, they don't want to leave it to chance of that committee, especially if you're going to deal with Ohio State, because the way Ohio State draws, they're going to be like, oh, we'll put them in. So, Jubb, any thoughts? Horned Frogs and Wildcats. You're a Horned Frog type guy.
Yeah, I have. So what I'm going to do when we give our best bets, I'm going to give people a little taste of the way I do it on the radio.
Oh,
so
yes.
That's
perfect.
Keep the Horned Frogs in the back
All
of your
right,
mind.
sounds great. For those of you that don't know what Jubb's referencing there, we do a show every week, 2 to 3 p.m. on Mondays here, and the studio just 2 down from here. This is WVOY that we're in right now. We're in the WKKX one on Mondays from 2 to 3. We talk high school football and lots of local sports. Great times, fun stuff. How'd the show go Monday?
Good, really good.
Yeah, sorry I was in bad conditions.
No, that's all right. We went over some good stuff. Bernie Dolan called in, had a good call with him. Thank God all the tech worked fine.
Good.
We had
Pumped
no
up
issues.
for the Super 6. Everything good?
Yeah,
That's a first job.
Good. Yeah.
No
geez.
issues?
Yeah, no issues. There's always
Yes.
something.
So we will get Jubb's delivery of his beautiful soliloquy, this time college version.
Yeah.
That's very
you go.
exciting.
Yes.
So, all right, let's drop. Me and Cooley will talk through these as you continue to
Yeah,
prepare
you
your
go
notes.
ahead.
Coastal Carolina and Troy in the Sun Belt Championship. This is in Troy, Alabama, so Troy is the home team here. Troy minus 8.5. Coastal Carolina's quarterback doubtful for this game. 48.5 is the total. So this thing opened Troy minus 4.5. It's up to 8.5 now. If Coastal's quarterback doesn't play, I don't know. There seems like a serious downgrade to the next guy. So might be Troy if you could get less than a touchdown. I don't know what numbers like that still out there, but any thoughts on this game, Cools? Seems
yeah,
pretty cut and dry.
I was gonna say I like Troy minus 8.5
Right.
because the quarterback is
Yeah,
out, and
yeah.
I just think that's gonna be a big downgrade for them.
In their home, I mean, that's going to be
I
tough.
don't know about the total though. What do you feel?
Yeah, no, I actually think maybe under in this game. I think Coastal's going to struggle to move the ball with that backup quarterback. His numbers have been really scary.
48's low, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm liking the under too.
Yeah, I would lean to the under. I mean, I'm not saying I love it, but if that's one of those games that you take a look at with a quarterback being out, and maybe check the weather too. You never know; it could be some wind down there this time of the year. Howling winds that might stay down there, and that number might drop before Saturday. All right, big game of the day: LSU and Georgia in the SEC championship in Atlanta, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Georgia now as high as 18 some places. I've seen 17.5s out there. The total 51. I like this game over. Any thoughts here, Cools?
Yeah, over. I think LSU's frauds, man. I mean, they got that loss to Florida State. So my Florida State Seminoles, you know, they handle business. And I'm rooting for the Doyles. I know they don't like Brian Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Georgia's going to put it on them. I'm going to take minus 17.5.
I tend to agree with you there. I thought the only thing I think works in LSU's favor is they kind of got humiliated last week, kind of killing their hopes for playoffs. But Brian Kelly, sad to say, he's a pretty good coach, but I don't trust them. I think they're I don't know, something about them. I can't get a good pulse on them. Coach came in and gave us his picks. He likes LSU. I guess if he can get 17.5 or 18, I might think about it. But I don't love that, and I'm definitely going with the over. That's where my money will be at. So we'll see what happens. On to the, what are we going? Oh, Mountain West Championship. Fresno State, Lauren the Bettors, Fresno State Bulldogs, and the Boise State Broncos waging war in Boise. Boise minus 3.5, 53.5 the total. I got to be honest, I haven't watched a whole lot of these two teams right here. if I could get more than a field goal and in the half a point, I probably would lean Fresno. I think this would be a tight game, but don't love anything. What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, not having watched too many games it is. But I kind of like what you said, -3.5. That's not a whole lot of points, so I'm going to lean towards that as well.
All right, let's go to the SWAC championship. This is one that doesn't get a whole lot of attention. Is Deion Sanders' team hosts the Southern Jaguars. That's Jackson State. Coach Prime. Prime -17.5. The total 50. I have no idea about this game. I'd probably lay it with Jackson State and maybe bet the over. But
yep.
that's about all I can give you on that.
Man, I can't tell you much about the SWAC.
Yeah, I know he's got some great players though. He's got some like top 5
he's
type
dominated
recruits.
every game. I mean,
it's just,
you think he leaves?
I mean, maybe I was going to say if your guy at Florida State wasn't doing good, they should have got him. I know. Yeah, he's doing a good job. I think he actually could get lured to a bigger program. Take those guys with him. Oh, wow.
But
I don't know if Prime will like it on that. It's a little chilly out there.
I'm not going to Colorado.
No, yeah, that's too unpredictable the weather. So, all right, let's go to the American Athletic Conference Championship game. This is in New Orleans. UCF in Tulane. I believe it's maybe on Tulane's campus. I'm not sure of that. I think that Ullman Stadium is. All right, Tulane -3.5. The total 57. I've been on Tulane a little bit this year. I like them. I think they play pretty well on both sides of the ball. I like their coach. The over's taking some public money. So that scares me a little bit as far as betting the over. So I'm leaning towards the green wave and maybe under here. Cooley, any thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm taking UCF +3.5, and then I'm going to take the under in that game.
All right. Sounds good. All right. We got 2 games left here on the college card before we get to Jub's best bets. Clemson and North Carolina in the ACC Championship. This is at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Clemson -7.5. The total 63. Man, I just don't think Clemson's nearly as good as they have been. But I also don't trust North Carolina. This game is really hard for me. I've had really hard time doing ACC games outside of Virginia Tech and betting against my Miami team and probably on your Seminoles because they've been probably the best team in the league, at least the second half of the season. I really don't know. I was thinking about under in this game, thinking that maybe Clemson's defense plays well enough to keep it under 63, but I don't love anything. What about you?
I like UNC. I like their quarterback, May.
He's good.
So, yeah, I was kind of leaning towards the over because I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think Clemson will be able to keep him in check that well.
Yeah, they have to if they're gonna because they don't score. I don't know. But I probably would lean North Carolina like you with a 7.5. Like if I can get that 7 in the hook, I would probably play Carolina.
I like that too.
I don't know how Clemson's giving 7.5 to anybody. Yeah. I think that's too high a number.
They're not as good as they've been in the past.
No. And again, it's no disrespect to their program. They're just not what they were. Like they're still a solid team, but just not like they were a few years ago. Definitely not. All right, and then the grand finale: Purdue and Michigan. This is the Big Ten championship game, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Michigan now a 17-point favorite. The total 52. It opened -15.5. That was the Michigan coach giving out a best bet of the Wolverines. I like the game under a lot. I think Michigan, off an emotional win last week, I think they'll kind of keep it close to the vest here, just try to get in, get their business done, and move on. I think Purdue has surprised me. They got a pretty decent offense, but I think their defense is a little bit better than people have given them credit for. That's why I like under. What do you think, Cool?
Yeah, I was surprised we've agreed on so much stuff so far because I'm going to take the under in that, but I also like Michigan -16.5 as well.
I would probably lean that way too. I think Michigan just wears them down at the end. But all right, well, it's about that time before we take our first break here on Bettor's Last Stand. Jub, do you have your notes prepared?
You guys go ahead. I'm going to get something prepped real quick. You guys go ahead, and I'll be right there.
I'll give you my best bets right now. Here's my 2 favorite ones on the card this week. Will be the LSU Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs over the total of 51. And in the game we just mentioned on Fox, the Big Ten Championship, the Michigan Wolverines and the Purdue Boilermakers under 52. Obviously, shop around for your better numbers if you can get 52.5, 53. And then in the LSU-Georgia game, if you can sneak around and find a 50 or a 49.5 even, shoot for it. So be sure and check all your books. Make sure you find the best spot to lay your money. Cools, what are you thinking of your 2 top selections for the weekend?
My 2 are going to be USC -3. Okay. I like them a lot against Utah. I don't think Utah will sweep that series at all. And then I like the UFC Knights +3.5 as well.
All right.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a little something we do, like Matt said. I do it on the radio station, but this Saturday, we head deep into the Amazon basin, from Colombia to Brazil, trudging through the freshwater marshes and the muddy pools, avoiding countless dangers, great beasts, and treacherous terrain. There, hiding amongst the leafy undergrowth, in the face of death, we find the horned frog, ready to pounce against their wildcat foe. This Saturday, I'm taking the Texas Christian Horned Frogs against the Kansas State Wildcats plus 2.5. And then, let me cue up my.
He's queuing up as that first one is very impressive.
Usually, I have these ready.
I have to tell you, oh my!
Usually, I have these ready because I'm in the booth in the studio. But now I have to kind of do this on the fly. But just know that you'll be hearing these over the radio if you ever want to listen in.
Yes,
2 to 3 on
2
Mondays.
to 3 on Mondays.
So now,
Incredible.
heroes of the Sunshine State, chosen by the sword that seals the darkness, they have shown unflinching bravery and skill in the face of darkness and adversity, and have proven themselves worthy of the blessings of Bettor's last stand. Whether skyward bound, adrift in time, or steeped in the glowing embers of twilight, the sacred blade is forever bound to the soul of the hero. Arise, arise, knights of Central Florida, fell deeds awake. Spears shall be shaken, shields shall be splintered. A gold day, a black day, ere the sun rises. I am going to be taking the UCF Knights plus 3.5 against Tulane. Green
Wonderful.
Wave.
Unbelievable job as always. Wow, Cooley, what did you think of that?
That
Impressive,
was absolutely. I was sitting here like, because he kept pointing at the pen, and I'm like, what the hell does he need that pen for?
Oh, yeah.
And that explains it.
Yeah, let the man work.
There you
Jeez,
go.
what a job. Well done. All right, so Cooley on USC -3, UCF plus 3.5. Jubb also on UCF plus 3.5, and the TCU Horned Frogs plus 2.5. And then you got me, Michigan, Purdue under, and LSU, Georgia over. Coach gave us his big ones. His were LSU and Michigan. Those were his two best bets. He obviously leans mean green. All right, well, that's going to do it for our first segment of Bettor's Last Stand. That was very exciting, jam-packed action. Again, thanks to Jubb and Cooley for sitting in for Coach and Chris. Chris, get well soon. We'll be right back on Bettor's Last Stand. Talk a little pro football right after this.
Let's get it.
This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activity should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
All right, welcome back into Bettor's Last Stand, show number 20, as
That's
we
nuts.
about wrap up this city. Why did I say city? Month of
Wrap up
November,
the
the
city.
city of November. I don't know if there is a city of November, but there might be. Anyway, we're winding down here as we just went through the final college weekend, where there's actually a whole slate of games, the conference championships. We will get cranked up with bowl games here coming up here in a week or two, as we go through the holiday season, which I guess 'tis the season for bowl games. I know Jubb's dad's pretty pumped about all these bowl games. I could take them or leave them. A lot of them are terrible. Yeah. But anyway, we'll try our best to give you some winners as we go through those cards here. Again, Bettor's Last Stand. You check us out every week. Check out our main podcast, which is all under the Pine Room Podcast umbrella, at the Pine Room Podcast on social. We got Soup and Stuff going full-fledged right out of his mind. He just never stops. He's working Jubb to death.
He's got one slated for Friday.
Yeah, big penciled in with a new one. You guys had a really cool one with the principal of Madison.
Yeah, Andrea Trio.
Yeah, she was very impressive as usual, as I would expect. Soup does a good job vetting his guests. He's done a wonderful job with that. So check out Soup and Stuff. BLS, full swing here, as we mentioned, and then all of our Pine Room stuff. We got all kinds of things happening. Holiday season, we've at least slowed down a little bit of our tempo.
Yeah.
Thank God for you, Jubb, and thank God for all of us, actually.
I'm telling you, if we would have kept going at that pace, my head would have been mush.
I was working two jobs.
I would have been Jack Nicholson at the end of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah. That
Laying
would have
in
been
bed.
a good result for you.
Yeah.
But we'll be cranked up, I'm sure, after the holidays, getting ready for.
Champ would have had to smother me.
He probably could have tried, but I don't know. Champ's too nice. He would never do that. No. But, so check us out on all of our platforms. Be sure and check out the shop. I actually talked to one of my coworkers, said she bought some gear. Becky Boo.
Bucket hats are in stock.
Oh, and bucket hats are in stock, so check those out. Cooley, you got to get on that.
Because it's the season to wear a bucket hat.
Right, perfect bucket hat. You can hang your Christmas ornaments or lights off of it.
Chris and I waited all summer for them.
Yeah, now they're in
the sunny time of the year.
December 1st.
Yeah, so get them now. That's thepineroomshop.com for all your cool gear. And again, as we mentioned before, thanks to our friends here at WVLY, WKKX, the Watchdog team, for our cool gear that they gave us. And obviously giving us the opportunity to use this studio. We got an office down the hall and doing our show every Monday, which is really fun as we approach the Super 6 this weekend in Wheeling Island. Lots going on with that. So be sure and check that stuff out. Get our best bets from the show. It's archived on the Watchdog website. Yeah. All right, let's jump into NFL. All right, Thursday's game we don't really get to talk about because this show comes out on Fridays. But Cooley, really quick opinion. Bills and Patriots. Bills a 4-point favorite on the road, 43.5. Any thoughts on that game?
I think -4.5 is, -4 is not enough. Is it 4.5?
Well, no, it's 4 even.
Yeah, -4 is not enough. They're going to beat them by 2 touchdowns.
I feel like Buffalo's due to have like a get well game. They've kind of had some weird.
Just that Patriots offense is terrible, man.
Yeah, they were.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it was. That was a couple weird games on Thanksgiving that both these teams played. Actually, Lions giving the Bills a good run there, and then New England falling short against Minnesota. But I agree with you. I think the Bills are sitting on a big performance here before too long. But these division games are hard to bet the favorites because they know each other so well. So tread lightly on that one. All right, let's jump down to Sunday's card. 1 o'clock kick. Cleveland Browns visiting the Houston Texans. Deshaun is back. What a way to start it off as suspension. He comes and play against the team that he used to play for. The Browns -7 now on the road, a total 47. 7 is a lot to be laying on the road here. I think he'll be a little rusty.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he going to come back and juggle a little bit? It's been, 2 years?
Yeah. Literally almost 2 years since he's played. I would lean towards the Texans here. I think they'll really be pumped for this game. I'm not saying they'll win, but I would take the points with the Texans.
I might go -7 Cleveland just because the run game is so good, and Houston's run D is not bad. Good at all. It's very bad. So I like Nick Chubb to lead the way for the Browns.
Normally, I'd say if Deshaun wasn't playing in this game, I agree I'd lay it with the Browns. But just because I don't know, and I think Houston will be kind of fired up.
Houston trying
maybe
to
give
lose,
them a shot. Yeah, they probably should try to lose. That doesn't mean they can't cover.
That's true.
So I'll be taking them +7.5 maybe. That's an if. All right, Jets at Vikings. The Vikings -3, total 45.5. Vikings off a exciting win on Thanksgiving night. The Jets seem like maybe Mike White is the answer here at quarterback.
Is he the answer for them? That's what I was wondering.
At least short term. I mean, I just don't know if Wilson is ever going to be able to be good. But
history tends to repeat itself, and Mike White sucked after his first big game.
He did. You're right about that.
Let's see what happens. I like Minnesota -3.
I agree with you. I think I would play Minnesota in this game, too. Minnesota just seems like every week they're laying 3. They never get any more respect than that.
Their defense is not very good at all.
And I think Kirk Cousins has played decent enough the last couple of weeks to warrant backing here. So I agree. I think if you can get less than 3 or 3 or less, I'd probably lean Minnesota for sure.
I would as well.
All right. Broncos at Ravens. Ravens -8.5, total 38.5. Just a horrible performance by the Ravens last week against Say's Jags. Just disturbing. Everything that went wrong in that game could go wrong. It was strange calls, just weird plays. I don't know. The Ravens are just so frustrating to watch. And then you got the Broncos, and they're just as bad.
This
and
is
actually even
game.
worse. So, I mean, it's the Ravens literally could have won every game on their schedule this year. They've been leading in every one of them. The Broncos maybe could have lost every game. But I will say, I mentioned this last week on the Bettor's Last Stand. The Broncos, 22 of their last 28 have been under the total, 10 of 11 this year again. And they're just a team, they can't score. If they would have scored 18 or more points in all their games this year, they only have like one loss. So it just Russell Wilson just hasn't worked out, Cools. Do you think there's any way that they can hang in this game? I mean, I think they can hang, but can they win a game at Baltimore?
I think they can hang too. Their defense can keep them in it, and the Ravens' offense is just not where it needs to be. They don't have the weapons.
They have
for
no
him.
receivers.
Mark Andrews, that's it.
No, and
With
then J.K. Dobbins is out, Bateman's out. They do not have enough playmakers. Jackson does the best he can do, but I don't know. I honestly think the Ravens ought to just blow up their whole operation.
They need a new offensive coordinator.
Yes,
more
bad.
Weapons.
Greg Roman is an awful coordinator. I saw Stanford was interested in him, and I hope they hire him. That would be a very good thing.
Good luck for them.
Yes, exactly. Let's see where we go. Oh, Steelers. There we go. Steelers at Falcons is our next game. Actually the Falcons opened to -1 point favorite, and now the Steelers are -1 on the road to total 43. Don't know what to make of this game. Falcons are losing some steam. Steelers are playing a little better. I don't know if I trust them on the road though.
That's a tricky game. If I was really betting on it with my money with this game, I would stay away from this game. I'm not a fan of this game.
I agree. It's two pretty bad teams. Hard to figure. I would agree with you. I might lean Atlanta barely, but that's not a confident play.
Kenny Pickett's looking like he's settling in a little bit.
And with Watt, their defense is formidable.
They're getting healthier. They're getting more experience.
Yep. All right. Let's go to another 1 o'clock kick. Jacksonville at Detroit. Jacksonville -1.5. The total 51.5. This actually opened the Lions -1. It's shifted to Jacksonville, which is interesting. Don't think Jacksonville did a whole lot to win that game last week. The Lions continue to get unlucky breaks as they lose on Thanksgiving in a game they probably should have won. I don't know where to fall here. I'd probably lean the Lions, but Sage Jags got a little momentum going here. Lawrence played okay last week. What do you think, Cools?
Yeah, I think defense is going to be the separator in this game, and the Jags defense is better.
Yes,
so I'm leaning towards the Jags -1.5.
Okay, I like it. All right, let's go to the Commanders and the Giants. The Commanders opened a 1.5 point favorite. They're now up to 2.5. The total 40.5. Commanders laying points on the road. The Giants have been exposed. I kind of was waiting for this to happen, and it finally did. Washington is playing great right now, and this really Taylor Heineke, 11-1 against the spread in his last 12 starts.
Really? I didn't know that.
I mean, the guy covers numbers. I mean, he. If you remember the year you guys won the Super Bowl, the toughest playoff game you had prior to the Super Bowl was against them.
Yeah, they gave us a fight.
I mean, they battled you to the last possession.
He's a gamer.
And he was
That's
playing.
what he is. He's a gamer.
Yep. I was impressed with him. What do you think of this game? I know it's tied. I hate laying points on the road during a division game. That's hard.
Tough. And that's why I think I like the Giants at home. It's a division rival.
Yeah.
I like the Giants.
I agree. I think if I could squeeze out a 3, if I could find a 3 somewhere maybe. I'm thinking the Redskins will take some play because they have been playing pretty well. If you can get the Giants plus a field goal or plus 3.5.
The Giants hung in there with the Cowboys too, so they're not as good as what the record says, but they're a tough team.
I agree. I don't think the Giants were as bad or as good as advertised, or depending on which side of the aisle people fall on. I think that they're a team that you should evaluate and take a close look at in a division game especially. So, all right, another big game here. A 1 o'clock kick. Tennessee visiting Philly. Philly -5, the total 44.5. This is open. Philly -7 is down to -5 now. Now, Tennessee was a team last week I thought played a poor game against Cincinnati. They could have won the game. Derrick Henry with an uncharacteristically bad turnover and just some weird stuff that didn't work out for Tennessee. Tennessee's quarterback is always an issue, as Cools and I were talking about before the show started. I like Tennessee in this game. If I could get to 6 or 7, I'd rather have that than 5. But what do you think?
I was thinking the same thing. I think Tennessee has a little bit of a bounce back game here.
I agree.
But I don't know. It's tough. I think I'm going to lean towards Philly -5.
Yeah.
Just because they're the superior team in every way, quarterback, except for running back. But.
Yeah. No, I agree. I want to check on that number. I'm not. If I could have got 6.5 or 7, I would be on the Titans. But if it's 5 or less, I'm thinking. Although the numbers moving in the area where people were saying,
the homecoming
Tennessee
game for A.J. Brown as well.
Right. Yeah, he got a lot to
maybe him
show.
for a touchdown.
Still can't believe they got rid of him. But anyway. All right, on to the Packers and the Bears. Aaron Rodgers banged up here. The Packers now -4, opened to 2.5, but he said he was going to play, and that jumped right up to 4. The Packers have just owned the Bears. It's been the one team that they've just religiously beat pretty much every year. Even the Lions give them a better game than the Bears. Bears, if they don't have Justin Fields, they really have no shot in this game. So I would be on Green Bay. But if they have Fields, I don't know, maybe there's some points scored. They hung around a little bit with the Packers the last time before the Packers kind of shut the door on them. We'll see how Rodgers' ribs go, but what do you think, Cole?
Well, I mean, the Packers gave up a ton of rushing yards to Jalen Hurts, so it makes me wonder what Fields would do if healthy. But he needs to quit running as much.
I know. He's never going to last.
He's
And
gonna
that's,
keep getting
that's the
hurt.
problem. You can't do that as a quarterback. You'll just die. Last week's performance from Green Bay's defense, again, is an all-time low.
So,
they were on pace to give up like 800 yards on the ground at one point. It's inexcusable.
Yeah, so if Fields is healthy, I'll take them plus odds. Plus just spread over.
Yeah, I would consider that at home if you can get above a field goal if they have Justin Fields. If not, it's Green Bay all the way. All right, let's jump to the 4:05 games. Miami visiting San Francisco. This is a good game. San Fran -4, the total 46. San Francisco is a team that frustrates me every time I get behind them. I think they're talented enough to win the NFC. But every time I get on their bandwagon, they flop. And, man, this seems like a game where I'm going to say I love them, and Miami's going to go in there and hammer them.
I think so, too.
It scares me. I don't know. I just don't know how to gauge this team. I feel like Frisco, their best game is as good as anybody's, but their worst game is just as bad as anyone. So, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe some points in this game. Miami throws the ball around pretty well. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Cools?
Well, McCaffrey's banged up a little bit. He sat out of practice today, so that scares me for the 49ers. Yep. Elijah Mitchell out 6 to 8 weeks, so they're a little banged up. I don't think they're going to have the firepower to keep up with that Dolphins offense, no matter how good their defense is. I mean, they got to score, and I don't think Jimmy G is going to keep up with that.
That's an interesting point. Actually, for San Francisco, to keep this game lower scoring is going to be what they're going to want to do.
And they would need the run game, and that run game's looking like
I think they're probably regretting trading Jeff Wilson to this team, too.
He's good,
yeah,
man.
I don't understand why that. I mean, and Mitchell can't stay healthy, and McCaffrey's never really ever healthy.
When does he ever stay healthy?
So they're looking at the chances of, if McCaffrey goes out there, I mean, they're basically, you have to use Deebo Samuel because the other two guys are practice squad players. So, I don't know what Shanahan, he scares me. I'm not impressed with him. I feel like he makes too many blunders.
Got to be a little overrated in my eyes.
Agreed. I think he gets that because of his dad. His dad had success with Denver, and I just don't think he is the same as his dad. I like the 49ers roster. I think they have a very good defense, but every time I think I can trust them, I can't. So I'm scared there. Yep. I'll be just treading lightly in that game. All right, 4 o'clock, another kick. Seattle at the Rams. Seattle -7.5. The total 41. This opened Seahawks -3, up to 7.5. Looks like Matt Stafford might shut it down for the year.
Yeah, he needs to.
Yeah, and last week watching Bryce Perkins play, felt bad for him. And he would play good for like 2 snaps, and then he would make the worst mistake ever. I don't know. I want to say the Rams could cover this game in a division game, but I mean it's really hard to trust if they don't have Stafford. Not that he's been any good. What do you think, Seahawks?
I like them to cover. No Aaron Donald, possibly no Stafford. It's not looking good for the Los Angeles Rams.
The Rams,
they are a mess.
You would say maybe they could just shut it down, but they don't get a draft pick. No. So their draft pick belongs to the Eagles or somebody, I think. So if they lose, it doesn't even do them any good. They're kind of just screwed. And good thing they won last year. They got lucky.
They sold out for it. And
they knocked you guys off, Cools, and then they got lucky after that.
Don't remind me.
I know. That was tough. I can't believe they won a Super Bowl, but anyway, shout out to the Rams fans for sticking with them. They got the job done somehow. All right, Chiefs visiting the Bengals in the game of the week. Kansas City on the road, -2, 52.5 the total. Starting to see a lot of money on the over in this game. I get that. Bengals defense has played pretty well. Chiefs, sneaky defense isn't terrible. I like the Chiefs here, but I think it should be a good game. Bengals are playing better. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm excited for this game. I'm torn between who to pick here, though. -2.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's tough. I can see why people are going with the over, though.
Yeah, no, I can too. I think, I don't know. I feel like maybe a little revenge angle for the Chiefs here. I think they're going to come really focused. And if I can get Patrick Mahomes less than a field goal, I'm usually going to take him. But I can't knock anybody for betting the Bengals. They've played well the last few weeks. So should be a good one. We'll see how it shakes out. All right, 425, our last 425 kickoff. The Chargers visiting the Raiders. Jubs Raiders. Host the Chargers. Chargers -1.5 total. 50.5 up from the opener of 48. Both these teams have kind of had subpar seasons. Knicks Chargers, just every time again, another team I think they've turned the corner and then they fall on their face. Can't trust them.
Bad luck.
Yes.
Who knows what those guys
I have no real opinion in this game. If I was going to make a pick here, I might pick the game under, but I don't love that. What do you say, Cools?
I like Chargers -1.5. I mean,
They're the better team.
yeah, that's why I think I'm leaning towards the Chargers. They're just the better team. Raiders, as much as the Chargers mess up,
Yes.
the Raiders mess up even
Who has
more.
the worst coach in that
Yeah,
game? That's
geez.
the question.
McDaniels has got to be the most
Oh.
frustrating coach I've ever seen.
He's been terrible, and then Nick's boy hasn't been much better. So
No.
we'll see what happens. All right, and then our nightcap on Sunday, the Colts visiting the Cowboys. This is now up to 11. Dallas -11, opened at 9.5, total 43.5. I like Indy in this game. I think they play hard enough to hang in the games.
I
I
was
think
gonna say that.
they'll hang around. I know they didn't. They had some blunders against the Steelers the other night, but I think they play hard enough. They'll hang around in this game. I think they could backdoor cover the Cowboys a little bit. I don't think, and I don't know off the top of my head who Dallas plays next week, but this could be a look ahead spot for them. So I'll be taking the points of the Colts if I can get above the 10.5. What do you say?
Yeah, I agree. As long as Jeff Saturday doesn't mess anything up.
Remembers to call timeout.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
What is he doing?
Oh,
right
my
there?
God.
You don't even need to be an experienced coach to know that.
Jeez,
Champ could
he
sit
must
there
have
and,
watched the Bucs game.
timeout. Yeah, like he knows that. I mean, God.
Yeah, so I'll take them plus
Okay.
11. Yeah,
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's just a lot of points
That's
in the
a
NFL.
ton of points.
Yeah, it is. And the Colts aren't bad
They
enough.
got a good run game,
Right.
solid defense.
Yes.
I think they can hang
If
around
Matt
for a
Ryan
little
can
bit.
make a few throws, if they could keep him upright.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh, that's easier said than done. All right, and then the finale on Monday Night Football. Coolies Buccaneers hosting the New Orleans Saints in a big division showdown. Bucks -4, total 40.5. It's actually moved towards the Saints. Tampa opened 6.5 down to 4. Why is that, Cools? What do you guys got? I mean, you know you got injuries and shit.
Yeah. Our entire secondary left the game and came back last game. So they're all banged up. We just lost Tristan Wirfs for a few
That
weeks.
hurts.
So it's tough. I don't know what's going to
Saints
happen.
have frustrated Brady. They've played you guys
Do
tough.
they? I hate playing the Saints.
Maybe an under game. I don't know, but your defense is banged up. But then again, are they starting Andy Dalton? Or I heard they say maybe Jameis might.
Yeah, their quarterback
God,
situation is
what a
bad.
choice that is.
Yeah, flip a coin.
Yeah,
at that
Taysom
point.
Hill. Yeah, right. Jeez. Yeah, I might lean under in these games. These division games tend to play under. I had a little stat on this. So far this season, division unders, that is teams within the same division playing each other, 71% to the under. That's pretty strong. And division underdogs, 62%. Those are teams playing within the same division. So those are two angles to take a look at when you're looking at games like this Tampa game, New England and Buffalo. And then there was one other division. Oh, Giants and Commanders. So, yeah. Take a look at Seahawks Rams as well would also apply. But you think your Bucks roll though? You think you find a way to get it done?
I would love to believe so as a Buccaneers fan, but Brian Leftwich got me a mess. So I don't know. I'll take them -4.
All right. So wishful thinking though. Hopefully they can get it done.
That's a little bias in that statement.
Yeah, well, that's all right. At least you admit it. We understand that. So, all right, Jubb, I think it's about that time. But
so
just real,
excited
I'm
for
going to
this.
give you another minute just to want to recap a couple of our BLS best bets. Just a couple of winners as we close the book on college football. Finally, Coach got his UCLA over as he popped his head in here in the first segment. He's owed a shirt by Lauren the Bettor, so we're going to get in touch with her. She's back on social media. Going to try to have her on the show. She owes Coach a shirt for that nice cashing winner in the Pac-12. I had Oregon State. That one went over a couple of weeks ago. In the Big 12, we did really well. Kansas State over was Luke. Coach had the Kansas Jayhawks over, and I had Baylor, which was a loser. So we were 2-1 there. In the ACC, Luke had Louisville over. They get the job done last week. They are now 7-5, so that was a winner. I had Virginia Tech under. Coach couldn't get it done with Wake as they fall to 7-5. That hurt a little bit. In the Big Ten, Luke had a winner with Maryland. I had a winner with Minnesota over their win totals. And then in the SEC, my Kentucky Wildcats came up on the short end. I needed them over 7.5, and they only got to 7. And then Luke's Vandy Commodores easily over their 2.5. So good stuff there. As far as the best bets going on in the pros right now, we have the winner in with the Seahawks over 5.5. That was Luke's winner. That's already cashing. And the rest of our stuff are looking not too bad. Coach has Arizona under 9. They're at 4-7. That's solid. Luke has Denver under 10. I think I could put a star by that already. So that's looking pretty strong. Our player stuff, everything looking pretty good there. I have Jerry Jeudy. He's going to need to get healthy, and that Denver offense is sputtering. So I would not expect that to be a winner. Luke looking good, though, with Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry over their yardage. I think that's got a real good shot. CeeDee Lamb's got a shot for me to get over his 1,000 yards receiving and over his, I believe it was 6.5 touchdowns, so he may need 2 more there. So not bad there. Coach has the Jags over 6.5. They sit at 4-7. And then my bet of the Titans under 9. Cooley and I were talking about that. They're at 7-4 right now. That's going to be right around there too. So lots to still look forward to in the NFL. And now it's time for Jub Does the NFL as he gives his little soliloquy here on his NFL best bets.
All right.
There you go, Captain.
I'm going to try to do my best David Attenborough here.
Oh,
Ready?
my.
Here we go. All right. We dive into the deep, briny depths this Sunday. Swimming in the deep blue, far beneath the ocean waves. What's that rushing through the water? There's clicking and clacking. Is it a shark? A giant squid? No. It's the guardian of the underwater realm, the stallions of the sea. Call Flipper. It's the dolphins, here to protect you from those sleazy miners from 1849. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins plus 4.5 against the San Francisco 49ers.
You're incredible. You're absolutely incredible. You know that?
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh,
It's
God.
amazing you haven't been like a voice actor in a cartoon yet.
Oh, that's just too good.
All right, part
And
two.
Part
then
2.
We stay in Sunday. Do you hear that rumbling? Could it be thunder? An earthquake? No. Trees splinter like twigs. Mountains move like sand. From the forest, shade stomps a beast unlike many. Feet land like explosions. You can't outrun them. You're snatched up, lifted high to stare into the eyes of a giant. No longer a commander, only a snack.
That's incredible.
I'm taking the New York Giants plus 2.5 against the Washington Commanders.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible.
That's awesome.
Wow, folks. That was truly impressive. Gosh, Chris and Coach got their hands full. I don't know if they're going to get their seats back after this week. This is fantastic work by both of you guys. All right, cool. So, let's round it out with your best bets in NFL.
Well, Job, kind of similar for the first bet, except I like the Dolphins' money line. I think they win that game outright.
Oh, I like
I
it.
think the Guardians of the Realm, was that what they were?
Yeah, Guardians of the Underwater Realm.
Underwater Realm. Yeah, I like the Dolphins against 49ers. I just don't think that offense for the 49ers can keep up. And I like the Chargers minus 1.5. It's going to come down to what team messes up less, and I think it'll be the Chargers.
That's a good way to put it in that game.
Go
All right,
Bolts.
and then my two, I'm going with the Titans
Ooh.
and the Packers.
Ooh, the cheese
Two
lords.
road teams. I don't love those, but they're my best bets.
They're my
But
best bets.
anyway, guys, thank you for filling in for
Oh,
the fellas. A wonderful job.
Yeah.
Appreciate the time. I know it's we all got busy schedules, and you guys got big stuff to take care of. Always. What's dinner tonight? I know that we had a little sausage
yeah,
snack
a little
here.
snack already.
Coles, where are you heading later? For
I don't
dinner?
know. I just had Taco Bell, but then Coach brought that
geez. You're
pepper
all
and
over
he
the
had a
place.
sausage in it. So I don't know what I'm going to do tonight.
I had Chinese last night. I was going to do that again tonight, but
Okay.
I met the lady. Her name is Sin Siu Xiao.
Ooh.
Learned her name.
Now, where is she from? Like
China.
What, I know that.
I don't know what part, but we talked a little
What
bit.
restaurant?
Up here at Panda on
okay.
Market Street.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I might do that. I don't know, but that was a good stuff.
Yeah, all right. Well, Jub, check out that new show, 1899. It's pretty good.
I just started.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, because it has so many similarities to Dark. So we'll talk about that on the
Yeah.
regular podcast. For those of you who don't know, we have a regular podcast, the Pine Room Podcast. Be sure and check us out all over social, all over YouTube, all over your platforms where you can listen to podcasts. Jub does wonderful work.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that within the next 2 weeks, we're not going to be in this studio anymore. We're actually going to be in our studio. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks.
It's nice
we'll
to
be
have
in there.
options, though. isn't it?
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, it is
Yeah,
nice.
so it makes it easier. Again, thanks to our Watchdog friends for everything they do for us. Thanks to these guys. Thanks to our entire crew, all of our guys pulling the weight. Chris, get well soon. Coach out on the move. Jeff and Soup and Jarrett. I mean, guys are just busy. We appreciate everybody making time. We appreciate you for listening and watching, taking the time to listen to Job's incredible delivery of these amazing soliloquies.
It's the best
we
I can
enjoy
do.
it. It's really wonderful stuff. So, again, thanks for listening, watching Bettor's Last Stand. We will see you next week. Good luck with your bets, and be sure and check out all our best bets on our social media this weekend. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.